see all of you here today. I'm so proud of you for being young women in high school and so politically active, and it makes me really happy. I entered Virginia Tech as a small fish in a sea of 32,000 students. It's a large research university, so naturally all the engineers and all the scientists don't care much for politics, nonetheless conservative politics. I became a victim of that thinking, as the eagerness to get involved that accompanied the first semester of freshman year slowly faded away as I started really getting into my studies and my classes. No one tried to reel me back in. I'm here to prevent that from happening to all of you, because we need every single one of your voices in this conservative movement. My name is Lauren McCue. I'm a political science legal studies major at Virginia Tech, and the following are 5 things to remember as a conservative entering college, but I think a lot of these could apply to you guys now in high school. Number 1 is to seek and create opportunities. Don't wait for the opportunity just to show up, because the conservative movement needs you. You might need to take it some extra steps, because being a conservative on a college campus, the clubs aren't right there in front of you. So you can look up your student registries, go to student activities fairs, there's a lot of things. And let's say your campus doesn't have an expressly conservative club, but it does have special interest groups. A lot of campuses have pro-life clubs. You should definitely join, because the contacts and friends you make will be invaluable to you as you continue your conservative journey on campus. With that being said, you should definitely start a conservative club if there isn't one. It's your responsibility to ignite the conservative movement on your college campus. And you're never too young to start. When I was a freshman, I entered Virginia Tech, such a huge school. I thought, who would follow me? Who would want to become a conservative in college, especially since it's not cool? There's so many other things. There's literally hundreds of clubs people could get involved in. But I'm going to tell you that the rewards are worth the challenges, and you should really believe in yourself. So after you've accomplished that first step, and you're in your new or your established organization, it may be tempting to stay under the radar. But I want to tell you my second point. Don't be afraid of controversy. Creating controversy and buzz on your college campus is actually an excellent thing. It's the best form of publicity. Who here has Facebook? You all have Facebook, and you see people post articles and people argue, but it's usually because it's something they're not happy about. But you actually get exposed to these topics and these issues just by people posting about them. If you're on a college campus and you're in a club and you're doing something that doesn't upset people sometimes, I'm not saying upset everybody in every club you're in, but especially a conservative club, you're not going to get any publicity. No one's going to know what you're doing, and your voice won't get heard. So controversy sometimes opens up the conversation, because in college campuses, you can't always change people's thinking. They sit in the classrooms and have their professors just express their liberal agenda all the time. They're kind of swamped up in that. But getting them to think really, really helps. I think one of the issues that has been under the radar and not brought up on college campuses enough is modesty and morality. You heard Catherine talk about the hookup culture, and it's not just something that you just hear about, it's something that you experience and you see happen to your friends all the time. Society and culture, especially the feminists, want you to be able to express your sexuality without any attachments or emotions in order to claim control of your womanhood. I think that we all are in control that we are a woman. We are very confident in that. And these feminist claims could not be farther from the truth. Claiming control of your womanhood is to claim responsibility for your actions. It's the ability to know when to say no and standing firm in your decisions. You need to use your modesty to inspire the men in your lives to be held to a higher standard. If we expect men to treat us as women of honor and respect, we need to start acting like those ladies that we want to be treated like. What you will and will not permit as women will greatly influence a society. We can't hold people to standards that we ourselves are not willing to reach. So while you're living your modest life, your moral life against the social norm of the hookup culture, it might be tempting to apologize to especially your friends who just won't understand. But that leads to my fourth point. Stay strong in your convictions. Just because something is commonly accepted, it does not mean that it's right. When you're in college, you're living in a bubble. There's so many things that happen outside of your campus, especially in the news, that you're just not aware of because everything you need is on your campus. Your school, your living, your food, it's all there. And the textbooks that you read will not counteract the liberal professors and all their biases that they preach to you. They will actually just support it, and you're not getting two sides of the story. So the best way to stay strong in your convictions is to read to supplement liberal bias. You're going to get to college and pay hundreds of dollars for these textbooks that you probably won't even end up reading cover to cover. And so reading an extra book might be a challenge, but I want to stress how important it is to just read the essential conservative books. If you can only read one before college, I suggest reading God and Man at Yale by William F. Buckley. And he wrote it right after he graduated Yale. And it was written 50 or 60 years ago, I think. But it's so relevant. It's almost like I was reading it about my own college campus. So take a look into that. My last point is to choose your battles wisely. After reading all those conservative books, you're going to be fired up to fight any liberal that comes in your way. But I'm going to tell you stop and maybe think about that. You don't want to get into a fighting match with them because a lot of times they just want a show and they can title you as a crazy conservative and then just go on with their lives and they don't want to learn. So suggest calmly coffee or a lunch that you can talk about these issues. And if they don't want to talk about them in a calm, relaxed manner, then they're not worth your time. Especially professors, you can't always fight them and be that kid who raises their hand after every single PowerPoint slide in class. You see kids like that all the time. Instead, go to their office hours. It's a time that they set aside for students who are welcome to come and talk to them and ask questions. Personally, I was in a political theory class, and the professor ranted about Karl Marx, communism guy, if you didn't know, for days and days and days. I knew I was not going to do well in that test if I talked about my conservative beliefs without talking to him, so I went, and I tried to convince him that I was really trying to understand his point, that I explained my conservative values, and he saw that I actually cared and thought it through, and so I actually ended up getting a good grade. So now I know I made college seem like a brutal, bloody battlefield where conservatives will remain miserable for 4 years. It's not. Just remember my 5 tips. 1, to create and seek opportunities. 2, don't be afraid of controversy. 3, stay moral and modest. 4, stay strong in your convictions. And 5, choose your battles wisely. But my best piece of advice that I can give to any young woman is that college is a wonderful and transformative time in your life. Don't let it change who you are, but let it help you to become the best version of yourself. Thank you.